For the 68th annual Oscars were announced earlier this week, and there were lots of surprises. We'll try to explain them, starting with the surprises of exclusions, films and performances that were not nominated. I was stunned and very disappointed that two superb, serious-minded pictures, Leaving Las Vegas and Dead Man Walking, were not nominated as Best Picture.
We both know I'm a drunk. And I know you're a hooker.
Was you none?
I was drawn to it, I guess. I mean, that's a hard question to answer. It's like asking you why you're a convict.
The vast majority of the Academy members, the producers, the publicists, the craft workers, apparently didn't care enough to see these films about a suicidal drunk and a man on death row, as lighter fare carried the day in the Best Picture category.
You know, you're right about that, Gene. It is a disappointment because these two movies are the best that Hollywood can do. They represent the very top.
I think so.
The very top of the craft. And the fact is, the voters in the Academy, and we know this because we've seen it happen every year, care more about the business than they care about the art form and about.
What do you think of my surmise that they didn't screen the picture?
I'm sure they didn't. And of course, when two movies get that much acclaim, when they win so many critics awards, I think they have an obligation to see them, and they didn't do their job.
You got it.
This was certainly a year when some of the big year-end entries got surprisingly overlooked at Oscar time. When The American President came out last November, it was widely expected to get a lot of nominations, especially in the acting categories, but it got completely shut out except for the original musical score. Maybe its liberal slant was a handicap in an election year.
At 20%, we're 34 votes shy in the House. It can't be done.
Another movie that got in political hot water was Oliver Stone's Nixon, which won acting nominations for Anthony Hopkins and Joan Allen, but got shut out of the Best Picture and directing categories, not to mention editing, where it was brilliant. Another major oversight, both Nixon and Casino were photographed by Robert Richardson, who wasn't nominated for either one. Were there two better cinematography performances all year? I don't think so.
Well, that was great work. I think the issue on The American President may be this, and it's historical with the Academy. Romantic comedies are not rewarded. It is an art form that is not valued.
I think that's been true for 68 years at the Academy. Cary Grant never won an Oscar because everybody said, oh, it's easy to do that, and they're wrong.
Very wrong. Another surprise omission on the list, Ron Howard, amazingly not nominated by the director's branch. Maybe Ron Howard did too good of a job in Apollo 13. Maybe the directors didn't realize the film doesn't contain a single frame of stock footage, either from network TV news or from NASA's archives. Even this amazing rocket launch was created by a special effects crew chosen by Ron Howard.
Houston, we have cleared the tower in 13.
Maybe Ron Howard is just too commercially successful as a director, and his colleagues are jealous, but I really think he was robbed. I don't see how you can give it 9 nominations.
He was robbed, and you know, why was Michael Radford nominated for The Postman? It's a very nice picture, and I was moved by it, but I mean, when you compare what was really done in terms of direction, yeah,
absolutely,
it wasn't fair. Almost all of the pre-Oscar speculation assumed that John Travolta would be nominated in the Best Actor category for Get Shorty. Why wasn't Travolta nominated? Well, maybe because the picture was about Hollywood, and the movie business sometimes gets uneasy about depictions of itself. Or maybe he was squeezed out by the sentimental vote for Massimo Troisi in The Postman, whose death right after finishing the picture touched a lot of people.
I'll give you another reason. I think that Travolta may have suffered by comparison to his work in Pulp Fiction, and I think that this role plays a little bit like Pulp Fiction light. And so, really, I cannot blame the actors branch in this instance for not nominating. I think there were 5 better performances than his.
Okay, you may be right. When we come back, more Oscar surprises, this time some unexpected inclusions, including a cute little pig.
Good heavens, who are you?
Babe.
His biggest Oscar surprises, when the Oscar nominations were announced this week, no films caused a bigger stir than Babe, which got 7 nominations, and The Postman, which got 5. More importantly, they placed in the top categories: picture, acting, direction, and screenplay. In the case of Babe, which was a real underhog, this was the little family film from Australia which upset Toy Story, the year's top grossing film.
So I go through the kitchen, across the living room, good, into the bedroom, get the mechanical rooster, and bring it out to you.
What about the cat?
And quietly bring it out here.
The groundswell for The Postman was due to 2 things. First, sentiment over the death of its star, Massimo Troisi, who knew he was sick but kept on working and died 12 hours after completing his last scene. And the second reason for The Postman's strong showing, a well-run Oscar campaign by Miramax Films, which spent a reported $1.5 million as in cassettes, to all Academy members and to buy lots and lots of trade ads. The ads obviously inspired the voters to look at the movie over the holiday season. It was fresh in their minds when they marked their ballots. When they asked, do those Oscar campaigns ever make a difference? The answer is, they sure do.
Oh, it was a brilliant ad campaign, including, I thought, a masterstroke of having a bunch of novelists come out and support this picture. Obviously, Miramax got to them and solicited their opinion. And here are these great writers. Most of the actors never finished college and out there, so they're saying, well, if they liked it, it's okay for me to vote for Best Picture. It was a masterful ad campaign, one of the greatest in history, and you bet Oscar nominations can be bought. Now my choice for a surprise inclusion. I was caught by surprise that Braveheart led all films with 10 nominations. I thought Apollo 13 would lead, but Braveheart is also the kind of big epic scale production that gets plenty of nominations in many technical craft categories like editing, sound, and costumes. Also, let's face it, Braveheart was surprisingly good as Mel Gibson breathed new life into the medieval sword fight drama. He received 2 nominations himself, as Best Director and for producing the Best Picture. They're his first nominations. He did a very good job.
It was a very good film, and you know, another sword play movie that came out about the same time, Rob Roy, was good, and I thought the Academy did a great job of reaching all the way back to last spring and noticing that Tim Roth was so good in that supporting performance in Rob Roy, which had the best sword fight I've ever seen on the screen. Me too,
and I'll tell you, we've said this before, but it is the villain that always energizes and makes successful an action picture, and Tim Roth is one of the best villains we've seen in the movies in a long time.
Okay, if I was forced to choose a single nomination that gave me more pleasure than any other, I think I'd choose James Cromwell's nomination for Best Supporting Actor in Babe.
Away to me, pig!
Remember, you have to dominate them. Do that and they'll do anything you want. Go, go!
This was not your typical family movie with simplistic speeches and slam-bang plot developments. It was a remarkably subtle comedy about believing in yourself and getting along with those who aren't like you. Cromwell's performance brought it and gravity that it needed.
Well, you remember, Roger, on our Member of the Academy show where we try and influence, last month we try and influence, do you remember who was the one who pushed for?
Do you think you influenced the Academy?
I don't know. What do you think?
Wouldn't hurt.
You got it, big guy. One more surprise inclusion for me, and it's a good choice. Mare Winningham, nominated as Best Supporting Actress for playing the title character in Georgia. She portrayed a famous folk singer, the older, more responsible sister to the flashier, bigger role of the self-destructive wannabe singer played by Jennifer Jason Leigh.
You were the one with the ambition, Sadie. I never gave a damn.
You say.
It's very rare that the more solid character in a 2-character story gets Oscar recognition. Congratulations to the Actors Branch for acknowledging Mare Winningham's fine, well-modulated performance. I love when actors reach out and find the even tone.
I like Jennifer Jason Leigh very much in the movie, too. You can't get everything, though, and I'm glad that at least this movie was singled out because it was
a good story.
A movie that had a lot of good acting in it.
When we come back, we'll take another look at the new movies we reviewed on this show.